Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As the current time of 10:37 a.m. on the Eastern Time, Ethereum control $1,958, about 2.4% so far. With respect over crypto market, you see clearly on both the altcoin and the key coin side of the house, we are bright red today. With respect to the surge that we've seen yesterday, with Wall Street collectively, both on the corporate and the retail side, try to resuscitate the market away from hitting towards the recessionary zone or the territory. And as you got back up on the horse, obviously on this weekend today, weekends are typically not the most active days, especially on a Saturday, which most publication companies are off unless it's something like majorly happening today. But seems like nothing yet is happening, or at least any black swan exogenous factor that's cultivating yet. But right now we're just levitating across the spectrum. With respect to Ethereum specifically, we are levitating between the 2000, which is again is a technical level, but somehow coincides with the flat number, which quick makes sense, right? Between the level and 1860, which is the next level. And on the momentum front, we are relatively flat, not really up or down. We're just kind of zigzagging at the moment. Our side looks relatively stabilized, but the MACD looks kind of still leaning more of a propensity downward. At the same time, we are levitating, so selling off back down even further, knowing the fact that we have basically this is a negative sign, we're levitating. This is a negative sign on the MACD is a negative as well, and RSI is also kind of pointing downward, but it's normalizing. So it's like two negatives, one positive. So if you add that up together, it's still kind of negative, across the spectrum. If you kind of weigh that out for yourself, right? And respect to Bitcoin, down about 1.4% as well. We're below 30,500, which is a critical level. Same affectation, right? We are at the 28,800, which is not a level at all, right? The real level that we ideally need to get down to will be somewhere around, this is a level that we kind of have realized before. Let me see. So it happened a long time ago, so bear with me. It's somewhere around like 27,500 all the way to 25,500, right? So right now we're just levitating again, lingering on. Do we go up or do we go down? But whenever you're below a certain level of which is a resistance, like the wall that you're trying to break above upcoming, you tend to go down because buying pressure is that is a lot more difficult than selling, right? If you think about that psychologically as well. So overall negative. I would say negative as well on Bitcoin. So with respect to Ethereum Classic, you can see that we're lingering on anywhere from basically 1955 all the way down this logical DCA. I would say the trends are relatively comparable. So buying around this spectrum for the long term is a relatively no-brainer. You typically want to buy when it looks the least obvious, right? With respect to the market dynamic. When the fear is extremely high, that's when you should be more aggressive. Dogecoin down about 5% as well. Anywhere from basically 8 cents below logical to DCA, but very bearish across the spectrum. You could see that like the MACD very, very sharply dropping down, like is like a knife falling down straight up, right? At the same time, RSI got crossed down at 30. So Dogecoin looks even more bearish in comparison. So it is already telling you a story. And why is that, right? Altcoins are typically a lot more sharp in terms of the movements, right? Makes sense, right? Because it's a smaller entry price. People are a lot, less price sensitive with more retail investors in the play as well. So that cultivates a lot more volatility. And in terms of emotional roller coasters, it's a lot more dynamic that way. That's why you see like, altcoin to be a little bit more sharp in terms of the movements. With respect to Cardano, down about 6%. You can see that anywhere from current level down is logical. Similar affectation compared to Dogecoin in terms of the momentum. So still bearish across the spectrum. Bearish, bearish, bearish. Respect to Solana, down about 15%. Basically gave up everything that we tried to get back yesterday. We try to get up to 55, but we know whenever you're levitating, you always have a propensity to go back down. So right now we're levitating all over again. So coming back down to somewhere around like, 45 or somewhere like the flat number ish would be very logical. But knowing the fact that we are very submerged right now, so 45, is that's pretty much it. I would say, Solana, if you believe in this long term, is a relatively logical buy. XRP down about 11% as well. Anywhere from basically current level down is logical, but you could see that clearly we're still very, very bearish in terms of the momentum. Cross down, despite extremely oversold already, right? Polkadot is selling back down from the massive pump that we've seen yesterday. I think we were up like 23% at one point. Just we try to get back up on the horse, but everything is still pointing down because the overall market is dragging you down. You can see that clearly we got canceled out exactly the level that we talked about, 11, right? So let me just put a bar here for ourselves, just to remind ourselves. I mean, this is relatively obvious, right? So you got up there, you couldn't. So if you break above but you below levitating, you have a high propensity to go back down further, right? Excuse me, sorry. Respect to Algorand, down about 15%. Anywhere from current level down is logical to DCA. But remember, we are still very bearish across the spectrum. Shiba Inu, same thing, we're levitating again, right? So 2100 as we broke it, 1400 as the next level. We're between the 1400 and 900, so we are levitating again. So coming down to 900 all over again would be more logical, but it'll be a sharp one. Knowing the fact that we are relatively oversold right now, so the buying pressure gets a lot more intensified as you go down from here. MATIC down about 6%, anywhere from current level down. Same thing again, right, with respect to the setup. We're trading on new bottoms, so definitely a lot more risky. But if you believe in this long term again, right, that's how you should be investing anyways. AVAX, lastly, down about 7% as well. Anywhere from current level down is logical to DCA. We're extremely submerged already. Well, you can see that Terra, they took it off completely. This is completely dead. Wow, it's completely shut down for the right reason. So, interesting. So, hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. Saturday, sorry. I mean, it's Sunday in some other part of the world right now. So, have a good one. Spend time with your family. It's getting warmer now, so it's definitely nice. I look forward to taking my bike out. Hopefully it's not raining today because yesterday was kind of like a downpour in the second half of the day. So, yeah. Yeah. Let me know if you have questions in the meantime. It's definitely not the best to know that the market's still bearish despite the relief rally in the bear market is always very sharp. It always looks promising, but it's not because ultimately the macro market is going to drive it. So, have a good one. Take care.